darling. It's Jennifer from the patio. I am coming to you today with another fun project for my Bubblegum Christmas Journal. So, today we are going to make some of these, or make not some, but we are going to make this envelope flip out that has two pockets down here at the bottom, and then it has a side pocket here, and then it has place for writing, more space for writing, and then our closure. And then the back we will cover. So, all you need is 2 envelopes of the same size. So today, I'm going to be using the same envelope style as this, which is avocado dyed envelope. And I'm going to show you. We're going to just make this together. So the first thing you're going to do is I've already cut this one, but I'm going to show you how I do this. So what I do is I put my 2 envelopes together. I make sure that everything is nice and aligned. And then I'm going to cut the ends off of them so that they can open up, because we want the sides to open up. So let me just make sure those are even. And then you're just going to snip off the edges. So I already have one done. So I already have this one. I already have that one done, so I'm just going to do this one. And this one looks like it's a little janky, which is kind of good to take that off. As you know, no envelopes are squared. So, okay, so once you snip off the edges, make sure that those are good. You need to go back with your glue and just make sure that all of these little pieces that, you know, when you're dyeing paper, you're soaking it in water. And so the adhesive, it comes up. So you have to kind of go back and put it back the way it's supposed to be. So that is what we have to do. So you just go in and then just put some glue. Get it down. I hope everybody's doing good today. I'm having a good day. It is Friday, and so, you know, what's not good about Friday? Everything's good about it. Everything's good about Friday. And then I'm going to turn it over, and I can see over here. It's always that little, the edges that just do not, they end up coming up. Okay. That didn't put enough right here, so let's do that. Maybe a little bit up here. I just don't want them to come up, you know, to come apart. And this one, I believe I have already done. Let me make sure. Let me just do that. Sorry about the lighting. The light is coming more from one side than the other, and so there's gonna be a shadow. So I apologize for that in advance. Okay, so the next thing that we are gonna do is I am just gonna chop the little ends of both of these off, and I'm gonna do them together, just so I know that they are pretty close. So let me get them. So all you're going to do is just chop off a little bit of the ends. Just a little bit. Maybe a ½ inch. That looks like about, maybe a little bit more. But just a little sliver of the ends off. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you decide which one you want to see in the back. And they look pretty similar. But I kind of like this one, so I'm going to have that as my back, meaning that when I fold it up, this is what you're going to see. You'll see this in the back. And the other one, I'm going to flip upside down So you'll have them like this. And I'm going to glue this piece to this piece. And the easiest way to do it, let me make sure I'm in, I'm going to stand up while I do this just so you can see. The easiest way to do it is to fold your bottom flap up and then fold it again and then place it right where you know, the crease is, and then fold it up again and then just kind of shake it down. And make sure that this, it probably will have a little bit that you're going to have to, you know, create a bend. And then what you're going to do is just pop that up. You're going to hold this piece, flip this one down, and then you're going to adhere your glue. Okay? So let me just show you again. You're going to put them, one's going up and the other one's going down. So you're going to put them together, flip this bottom piece up, flip it up again, hold it, and then flip this piece in, shake it down a little bit, make sure everything's even on the sides and up at the top. And then you're going to flip the top down, make sure that it can fold. And then you're just going to hold this piece right here. You're going to flip this one down, and you're going to adhere glue to this bottom. So you're going to just outline like this, and then put some glue on the sides, because this piece is going to come up. And then you're going to do the same down here. You're just going to do the edge like that, and this is all glued, and then this is only going to go so far, and then you pull it up and then hold it down, and it should all be glued. And then flip it open, and then you can see. Now we are going to put paper on top of this, so you're not even going to see any of that. So let me just get my bone folder and squish that glue around so that it adheres. Okay, let me just do this side. And I am going to make sure that this is down. So I'm going to do that. This is popping up, so I'm going to glue that down. And then let's see, yeah, that's popping up just a hair. Now we're going to cover it, but you don't want any paper underneath to be popping up. So that's why I'm just going back and making sure that everything is glued down. Just taking my fingernail and lifting the edges up. I see this one up here, just a little bit popping up. Okay. That looks good. Okay, well, while we have the glue out, what I want to do is determine, this was my top, because I had to make a new crease, if you will, for that. So down here, I want to round this corner a little bit. I'm just going to take my punch, and I'm just going to take that off so it's just rounded. That's just me. You don't have to do that. And then I'm going to line it up on my board here. And I'm going to put a bead of glue down the center of this seam. So I'm just going to eyeball it, and then I'm going to just pull it down to the center. And then I'm going to close that up. I'm just going to hold that down for just about 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So there's that. And some of this I'm going to leave in just the envelope color, and then some of it I'm going to cover. So like this, I'm going to cover. And then that is our top flap. And I'm going to make sure I don't have any edges that are sticking out, but everything looks good. Okay. All right, so there is the basis of our little envelope booklet. So I think what I'm going to do, I picked out some paper. So I have this one, and this is all for my Bubblegum Christmas kit. And for the month of July, I'm working on this. And so I have just some pieces. I love that, and I love that. I have a piece of that, which has this on the back. I have some of my dots, so I can make pockets out of those. I think I have, 4 of those. And then I have some of these pieces that I may use as a side tuck. I also have that one, which I really love, so I'm going to keep that out. So anyway, these are the things that I'm going to use. I'm also thinking about using this color, this green, along with this. So I am going to cover, this happens to be the exact size that I need. So I'm going to cover the front and the back of what we just glued down. I'm going to cover that with this. So let me get out now every envelope is going to be different, but this one is about 2 ticks from 5 1/4. So it's right between 5 1/4 and 5 1/2. So that is 5 and blah, blah, blah quarters. 5 1/4 plus 2. I don't know how I'm going to do that on here, but let's look and see. So it's going to be 5 1/4 and then 2 ticks. So I think it goes about right there. So, and then I'll cut this one 5 1/4 and 2 ticks. And I can see it right there. So that's where we're going to cut it. Okay, so there's those 2. Let's see how we did on the cutting. Yes, we did good. Okay, now you know that I'm not inking with Vintage Photo, but I am inking with Velvet. I think I put it up too. I'm going to have to get that back out. Where did I put it? Hold on just a minute, because I know it was here. Unless I put it back in my armoire. I did. It's called Victorian Velvet. And that's the color that I'm using. So let me just, ink these up just for a second. Let me just get that white edge off. And I did not even do that, but it's so pretty that I can still get some on there. I can still get a little on there. I'm not inking everything in the kit, just what, or all of my ephemera. It's just what I feel like may need it. So, okay, I've got those 2 pieces. And then I put that down. So, and I think, let's go ahead and use my Lineco, because Mr. Art just, once again, he's just not being nice, you guys. And I don't know why. I do not know why he's not being nice. I'll try to turn my paper so that you're not in the dark. Okay, so we are just going to adhere it to this, and I want to make sure that I'm staying in the crease. There's that one. You can see something sticking out over there. It's not going to be exact, but it is good to go. Okay, and then there's that, and then we're going to put the other one here. So we'll put that right here. And then I also want to put one on the back page too. which I believe is going to be the same size. Okay, so let's just get this one down. I have a little bit more room on the top, and I'm okay with that. Okay, so then when we bring this down, it's going to go like that. I think that looks good. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to put some green on the top. So I'm just going to put it like this, and I'm going to cut me a piece. Let me see I think we said what, 5 1/4. Yeah, almost 5 1/2. So let me cut one that's like 5 1/2. Because I don't want to waste any of this. And then I'll cut it out. So I'm going to adhere this to here. And I've created a new crease. And so I don't want to go all the way down to the old one because it's going to keep it from... So I'm just going to glue it down like that. So I'm going to put some glue, and I'm going to try to get close to the edge because I want to make sure that it adheres well, and I can tell this. Of course, if I smush it towards it, smush it, say that 16 times in a row, good Lord. Okay. Let's put this on like this. I'm just going to adhere this right to that line. That's our fold. And sometimes I'll cut it out, and then sometimes I do it this way. And it just depends, but I like it. Okay, so then we're just going to go through here. And then cut this so that it fits right. Tim Holtz says to turn your blade in so that you don't cut the paper that you are cutting from. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just turn the blade in. Turn the blade in. First I got to be able to see. Okay. And I can use this for something too. I saw one little piece right here. Okay, and one little piece right here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there's that. So that's going to come down. We're going to have this, and then we're going to have this, and then that's going to lay like that. And now we need to decide what we want as far as a closure right here. I'm thinking these large pink dots would be cute. And then we can decorate. And it looks like it's going to be, we want it to be about right here. So, yeah. So that's going to be good. So how about we make it, the length is good. So let's make it what? 1.5 inches? No. 1 1/4. Yes. And if that's not good, or too big, let's see what this one is. Actually, I think this one's going to be better. And then this will come up like that. And I try to get my bone folder. And this is paper, and so it's going to be fine, but you just want to kind of bend it a little bit. And I will show you some of the ones that I have done that are made with craft cardstock, and it's pretty thick, and so you have to, you know, be careful. That's why, you know, I have to train it to make sure that it goes in. Okay, so I'm going to trim the edges because I want something decorative. Do I want something? Don't want to do too much. Let's just do a little small edge. And let's just put a little ink on that. Put a little bit of pink ink on it. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and ink this too. And it won't be so flimsy once I get the back paper on. And then we'll fold it like that and then put a little bit of ink up there. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to do it up to this brown line and try to center it as best as possible. And that looks about right. I'm going to use Lineco, and I'm just going to put a bead at the top and a bead at the bottom. Except it's stuck. There it goes. I must have had something in it. Let me put a little bit more on this. Okay. And then we're just going to put it up to that and then pull it over. That looks good. And then I'm going to just hold it down. Okay, that looks good. Okay, let's go ahead and do this back part. And I think I'm going to use the same green. Let's just do that. And of course, we made it a little taller, so it's going to be 4 and 2 ticks. Plus 5. And I believe this is just almost perfect. So let's do that. So we're gonna do, if I can get these little legs in here, it's gonna be 4 and 2 ticks. And then this was going to be 5 1/4 plus 2 ticks. So we're just going to take off just a little bit. And remember, your envelopes are going to be different than mine in size. So you might have the same ones as me. I think these are Hallmark envelopes. You know how when you go thrifting, you just, you get boxes of envelopes and bags or whatever? Well, I do. And so that's what I got. And so I don't really know. You know what? I kind of like that. Let's do that. Let's do that instead. And that way we have a pretty picture on the back. Why waste a pretty picture? I am using, for some of this background, I printed, you know, when you create kits, you print a lot of test copies to make sure that it looks the way you want it to look and blah, blah, blah. So I have a lot that are double-sided, and I should have never done that. But anyway, I did. And so that is what I'm using. So let's go ahead and just adhere this. And then I'll pick that up. I think I'm pushing it against the paper or something, and it doesn't like that. Let me see if there's a clog. There it comes. Okay, well, yeah, boy, did it come. Okay, so we are going to go this way, and we're going to put our little mistletoe right there on the back. Trying to make sure that's good. That's good. Yep, that looks really good. Okay, let me get my bone folder out and just kind of press that. If I would have put the green, I probably would have had to decorate a little bit more, but I kind of like that the way it is because I want to decorate this. And then I also want to put some pockets on the inside. So let's do that first. So this is coming out nice. And we have this. And I can see this right here. And it's not that I want to cut it off, but I definitely want to cover it up when I put, let's put the yellow one here. So I'm going to make sure that it is exactly, if not a little bit more, down in length. Okay, so this is just going to be a little side pocket, okay? And we're going to take it all the way to the edge. And then we'll have two pockets that go inside of that. So what I want to do is I want to just put a little notch in it. And I just eyeball it from where my vantage point is. And then that way I have a little notch. So let's add a little ink. You know what? I'm going to put my pen back in because Lineco is acting a little crazy too. They all need to just stop it. Crazy. Anywho, okay, let me do this. My arm is in the way, and I just feel like all you see is shadow. Am I not? I'm getting more light from this side than I am from that. I have a big window on the right, and then I have a large window on the left. Well, I say big, but it's a high window. And this, the one to my left, is a large window. Okay, so let's just put that in there like that. So I'm just going to glue the three edges, the two sides and the bottom. And pull that down. I hope you are just enjoying crafting along with me. I have noticed that there are more people watching the and crafting along with Wonderlust Wednesday than they are with this one. And I get it because this is, you know, this is a bigger kit, but it's a fun kit. It really is. It's got just tons of stuff in it, so I'm enjoying playing with it myself. Okay, so there's that. And then we need some tags to go in here and then in here. And I was thinking, I have two of these that are the same, kind of the same width. And I really like that. But we could get a window. Let me get my measuring because I don't want them to be too tall. So this is about, this was 4. So I'm thinking I'm going to do them at 4 3/4 because it is going to chop off. When I get out my tag maker, it chops some off. So we need 4 3/4 because it's not, no, 3 3/4 because it's 4. I'm sorry, I'm confusing you. 3 3/4. So there's 1. And then there is 2. Okay. And this will be the two tags that go down here. Now let me see. I'm going to need them a little bit skinnier. Let me see what they are right now. They are 2.5. I'm going to make them 2 inches. I'm going to make them 2 inches. sure you can see me. Let me get this one out. And I like the window with the snow. So we're going to do that at 2. And then we'll put them in this little... These tag makers are just amazing. I love them. So we'll just make some tags with it. So we'll put that in. 1. And I think this was on the bottom, yeah. So, and then this one will be 2. And I think it's just plain on the back. There, that'll look good. So those are just the little 2-inch ones. I keep my little dots because I use them for shakers thing. Confetti-like, so I'll put those up there and then I'll throw those away. And then we need 2 tags up here. I kind of like this one too. Maybe instead of the plain. Let's do 3 3/4. So let me cut the top off. I don't know, I kind of like this one. Let's do this one. And you know what? That looks like a really nice tag too. You can't ever have too many tags. Let me see what this does. Okay, this is not quite 2 and it is not quite 2 1/2. So let me cut this down to 2. Because the tag maker is specific. It's either 1 1/2, 2, or 2 1/2. So you can't really have a whole lot of other measurements. It won't work right. Okay, so let's just add these to it and then we'll just have some extra tags. Hopefully it won't cut that off. I think I left enough room. Yeah, well, no, I didn't, but well, darn it, but that's okay. That's okay. I always say it's okay. You know why? Because I'm crafting. It's like everything that we all do is a piece of art. So I'm not, I'm not going to worry or stress about because I punched a hole in that. Okay, so we'll put this one here. I really like it. And so we'll have 4 tags. Okay. Okay, so now we need something for here. I was thinking this. I was thinking some tall tags out of this. So I definitely want them to be 2 1/2 inches wide. So I'm going to get one over here. And then I'm going to get one on that side. So 2 1/2 inches wide is what I want. And then I want them to be about 5. I'll do one at 5 and one at 4 1/2. And the reason is because when I use my tag maker, it cuts some off the top. So let's do 5 over here. No, that is 5 tall. And we need them to be 2 1/2 inches. So let me do this. Have to think about what I'm doing. Okay. And I really love that. So let's do this one at 5. Am I going to get some of that in there? Let's do it like here. So I can get at least one of those balls in there. And then I'll do this at 5. Okay. So there's one. And then I'm going to do the same over here. I'm going to do 2. Am I in frame? Yes, kind of. 2 1/2. 2 1/2. And then let's see if that works at 4 1/2. That just works at 4 1/2, and I love it. Okay, so that's that. And then I have some pieces that I can use. So we're going to have one taller than the other. That's going to look good. And I'm going to have this at the bottom, so you're really not going to see it. But I really kind of want it at the top. But you need this light part to be at the top so that it anchors it. So, and I'm okay with that. So we're doing 2.5. And then 2.5. Keep my dots. Put them over here. Toss those. Okay. And then I really want to round the bottom edges of these tags. And I just use the very small one because I just think it has a really good look to it. And so we're going to have that one in the front, and then this one will go in the back. And I think that looks good. And then I'm going to round these as well. I'm just making ephemera. I'm just, you know, doing all kinds of stuff. And I've already made quite a bit, but... So, and I feel like, oh, I need to bring you guys along, but if I keep, I mean, I want to and I will, but some of the stuff, it's just like, if I wait, I'll never be done with this journal. And I've already created another kit that I'm ready to, well, I haven't put everything all together as far as ephemera yet, but I have created it and made it, so. Okay, let me just do these two. And I'm going to save these. Or I'll put that one there. Okay, so here's what we have. And whenever I fold this, it's going to keep these in. So I'm excited about that. So this is just a fun little fold up that, you know, gives you some extra space. I'm going to... I have these circles in the, hold on, I know what I'm talking about. Where did I put it? I had some pink ones that I did the other day. And anyway, they're so big. And... so you can't put a brad in it because all my brads would fall out. So I'm just looking to see where those circles are because I know I have them. I made this, so I need to decorate that. I guess I didn't put them, I guess I put them up somewhere else. I'm looking to see where I would have put them. I don't know. I don't know. Let me look at my basket. This is my little basket with all my stuff in it. No, I don't see any. Alright. Well, well, well. I will make some more. Okay, come here. Come here, you little holes. Okay, let me do this. And then let me get a piece of paper behind it because I mean, it's just that easy to make these reinforced holes, you know? Look at that. You get white ones and then you just put whatever color you want on it. And voila, there it is. Some darker, some lighter. Okay, put that aside. Okay, well, I'm going to put a couple on this. And I'm going to reinforce it with some glue because we know that these are not permanent. They may say that they are, but we want to make sure that they are. So we are going to just put this here and push it over a bit. There's that one. And then we'll put one on here. You don't need a lot, just a little bit. But it kind of just gives it a finished look. and that's what we want. Since we can't put any brads in, and I don't know, I might put some Sorry Silk and stuff in it at the end. Oop, I didn't put any backing on that. I didn't put any glue on that. That's okay, that's okay. But I might put some Sorry Silk or some ribbon or something on in these circles. But I honestly don't know yet. That's something that I do towards the end, because that way I know whether or not it is too big for the journal, if it's too thick, if, you know, those kinds of things. And so I always kind of wait a little bit for that element. Okay, so at least they have a little bit of a finished look to it. Okay, so there's that, and there's that, and then we're going to fold it up. And I really want to leave this for some writing space. I'm not really sure yet, but, and then this is going to go up, this is going to come down, minus all the little blue pieces, and that's going to go in like this. I really need to I need to round this off. So it will go in correctly. Because it looks like it's just there. I don't want that piece to get bent. Okay, so there. There's that. There's that. There's a shadow. Let's don't do that. Okay. Okay, let me put this up because I need to make sure I can find it again. And then we have that. So let's decorate this little piece. I do have some pretty buttons, and I do have a little brad, but I think it's a little late to put that on. But I do have some buttons, and that's fun. Then I have this one that says Bubblegum Kisses, Christmas Wishes, and Jolly in pink. I think I like that one the best. And how about this cute little button? We'll put that in there. Got some black ones. Let me get some lace, because we can use some lace. Okay, let me ink this in pink. It's already in pink, but we will get rid of those white edges, and it will be ready to go. Okay, there's that. So I have that pretty green, but it's not going to match that. This is more of a mint green. So I know I have some, yeah, this is, I kind of like that. And then I also have some eyelash. Some eyelash stuff that we can put in there too, like I did the other one. Yes, yes, yes. I don't want to keep leaning over too far. Okay, so let's cut us a little piece. A little piece, and it's probably going to hang over a little bit. Just need a little piece that I want to have in the back. And it can kind of be jagged and round at the same time. Okay, so there will be that, and then we'll put this in. We'll put this behind it, and I only want the pink, not the purple. So we'll just do a piece of that. And then we'll put that on top with the button. Let's see what that looks like. So I need my Fabri-Tac, because that is necessary when we're putting this kind of stuff down. So I'm just gonna squish it along here. I don't want it to the edge because I kind of like it when the lace is just kind of hanging over the edges. And you're not like, everything isn't glued down. This is a purchase from the Dollar Tree, and I love it because that way you don't get your fingers sticky. So then I'm going to put my eyelash curls down. And I think, can you believe this? I'm going to center it. What? Oh my, Jennifer. So I'm just going to put this right here. And then I'm going to just bunch this up. Just like that. And get that all stuck down. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this, Jolly in pink. And then I'm going to stick this down right on top of it. And have that just squish out just like that. I love it. And then I'm going to hold that down for just a second. It does take this glue a hot minute to, and then I'm going to put that right there. I am going to do it. And I'm just going to put that right there. I'm going to hold it down for just a minute. And that is our little fun envelope folio. So we have the picture in the back of the mistletoe. And then we have this Jolly in pink. It'll open like this. And it'll open down like this. This is writing space. And then we have writing space with some tags down here. I do need to put something right here. Let me see what I have in my ephemera. I got a kitty cat. He's too big. Let's see. I have a Christmas stocking. It's a cookie is actually what that is. I have a present. And you know, I'm almost okay with that because that way it kind of covers up that other stuff. I like it. Okay, let's do that. And I was going to say, maybe if I had I have a piece over here. Let me look. I was going to say if I could cover this little portion with some dots or maybe some green, just something behind it to sit on top of. The green kind of, and it's a good contrast. Kind of reinforces the pocket too. Let me do that at about, I mean, really small, but how about 3/4 of an inch? Let's see what that does. Let's see what that does. Let me ink it. It'll just kind of anchor it. And we like things to be anchored. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to put the glue on here. I'm going to put the glue on here instead. Now it is going to go all the way over, but it's okay if it goes over. I just don't want it to be glued down. And then I'm just going to adhere it. Okay. It's just adding something to it. Oh, I'm about to use that. And then I'm just going to put that right here. Okay. What you think? We like layers, And we like things to be and to have contrast. Okay. Okay, so I think it's gonna, these two pieces are going to not be glued down. So let me put the glue on like that. And then I will try to center it. Just like that. I think that's pretty good. Okay, and then there we go. Just something simple, but gives us a lot of writing space in this little, and you can do yours however you like. I've got that a little bit too far down. Let me chop that off because it'll keep me from closing it. Okay. So there we go. And then that's going to go up like that. Whoops, I have a little strand, little strands. That'll go like this. This will come down and it'll go right in that. Let me make sure my eyelash curl stuff. There you go. It goes like that and it's all hanging out and it's all pretty and funky and lovely. So that is our project for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you go and make a whole bunch of them because they're really fun and you can decorate them with all kinds of scrapbook paper and just, you know. Also, I've made some that are made out of just dictionary pages. And then you get to decorate them however you want. But anyway, that is our project for the day. I will see you next time. And remember, you only know what you know till you know something different. Bye-bye.